Welcome back, and we're so glad that you're back with us. I'm still going to tell you, make sure you have those pencil and get some paper and write down all the invaluable information we're going to be passing on to you. I have for this session and the next session, we have Denise Kearl. How you doing, Denise?
I'm good, thank you, Tom.
Okay, we're glad to have you on the show.
Nice to have you on the show, too.
You know, as I was talking to you, I kept thinking, I saw you in the Prompt Life magazine.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Current issue.
What was that all about?
Well, I just told my story of my life as a veteran. I served 24 years in the Army, retired, and I was asked to do my story, and it took a long time to get it on paper, but I finally did. So
it's under Our Veterans, Our Heroes in Prompt Life magazine.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
And you do so many other things in our community. I know you're a member of the DAV.
Yes, I am.
So you're a member there, you're a member doing so much, and one of the big things you're known for, besides your article, besides the DAV, you're also with Quilts of Valor?
That's correct.
Okay, what is Quilts of Valor?
Well, Quilts of Valor is a nonprofit organization that makes quilts for our current service members and veterans in the country. And any veteran is eligible to receive a quilt. They just need to request one.
Okay, when did this start?
This started in 2003 by an individual named Catherine Roberts, who was a quilter. And she started the movement of Quilts of Valor when her son was deployed in Iraq.
Okay, and you say all veterans or active duty members are eligible for a quilt?
That is correct. Normally when the veterans or service members come back from war zone, they are greeted with a Quilt of Valor from whatever base or post that they're stationed at. But locally, we are taking care of our veterans.
Okay. If they wanted to request the quilt, say for a family member that's a veteran or active duty member, or they wanted to request one for themselves, what do they need to do?
All they need to do is go to the website for the Quilts of Valor Foundation, and it's www.qovf.org/request, and just follow the link to enter the individual's name and address and branch of service that they served in and whether they were deployed.
They could also send something to an email address if they just want to ask that question?
Yes. For the local veterans in Nye County, the email address is Nye County Valor Quilters, Nye County Valor Quilters.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen. Okay.
Cut.
Okay.
Okay, it's on the screen.
So that's great. So go ahead and write that down, and if you have any questions, go ahead and just contact them and let them know you're interested in a quilt. Now, I know you also brought a quilt.
I did. The national organization is having they're going to publish a book about the Quilts of Valor Foundation, and they have asked all the states to enter 3 quilts.
Okay.
To be chosen. One quilt will be chosen for this book, this special book that will be coming out in December of this year. And since there are 3 groups in Nevada, I have the group here in Pahrump, there's one in Las Vegas and one in Reno. So we were all challenged with making a quilt that we want to enter. Okay. So the quilt that I have here today is the one that was chosen by our members and by the Shadow Mountain Quilter members also. I had given them 3 quilts to choose from, and this is what they chose to send forward. So hopefully our quilt will win, and we will be shown in the book when it comes out.
That is a beautiful quilt.
Yes, it is. It was made by Marilyn Swango, and it was quilted by Debbie Sayer.
How long did it take to make the quilt?
Well, it could take anywhere from a weekend to a couple of days to weeks, depending on how much time you spend on a particular quilt.
I know I'm going to be asking later about how many quilts you've given out and how many you're awarding and when you have some upcoming presentations. So those are things that we're going to be talking about. But is there anything else you'd like to tell us even before I get into some of my questions?
Well, I just wanted to let the community know that there is a local Quilts of Valor group, and I started that group in January of 2016 after being a member of the Las Vegas group for about a year. And I've felt comfortable starting our group out here because we have so many veterans out here, and I want to make sure that we reach all of them and thank them for their service and let them know that we care. And that's what the quilt is about. It's about acknowledging the person that served our country.
Okay. And if they had any other questions, with the chamber or something else, you have
I have the
brochures?
brochures. Currently, the brochures are at the Chamber of Commerce, and I also have brochures at GI USA.
At the store?
At the store.
I was in there yesterday, and I call that the meeting place for all veterans and anybody else.
Yes, it
so
is.
That's just the meeting place. So if you want a brochure, just go and pick one up. It gives you a lot of information about a lot of things that we're going to be covering today. But as I keep on saying, you need to write this down because I know I tend to forget if I haven't written it down. So do yourself a favor, write it down. Okay. What else have we got? I know, are there meetings? Suppose somebody wants to participate in making quilts. Well,
currently our group meets the second Wednesday of every month at the Bob Roode Community Center. We start around 9:30. And the meeting is to give you information about our local group. We give out fabric and patterns for those individuals who would like to sew and make a quilt top, which is not necessary. You can make blocks. You can, quilt the quilt. You can put the binding on. So there's different phases of making a quilt of valor.
You say you provide the material?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so they don't have to provide that?
They can purchase, some of the ladies do purchase their own fabric because they want to choose their own pattern and fabrics, which is acceptable. We require that you use 100% cotton, quilting cotton fabrics. Patriotic colors are great, and we have gone outside the box of being patriotic colors and put greens and blues and golds in it because, people like other colors too. So we try to do a very unique quilt for the individual veteran. The more information we get about a veteran, the more personalized we can make that quilt for them.
So about how many quilts have you given out?
We've awarded.
Awarded, yes.
We've awarded 90 quilts in our first year. And 17 of those were World War II veterans in our community. And then we had the Korean War and then Vietnam. And recently at the Fall Festival last year, we awarded 18 Vietnam veterans a quilt at the memorial wall when it was in town.
Okay.
So that was very special for those veterans too.
So you've awarded 90 so far?
90, yes, yes.
And when are you making your next award?
Our next award ceremony will be May 20th at 2 p.m. at the Bob Roode Community Center. And the public is welcome.
Okay. Write that down too. Put that on your calendar. Come on out.
Right. We'd love to see you.
Do you know about how many quilts you're going to present there?
I have 20 to 25. And then once I get responses back from those veterans, it'll be a good show. I mean, we've done 30 and 40 at our previous ceremonies. And if a veteran is not able to make the ceremony, I do an individual at their home or wherever they are. And those would be veterans who are hospitalized, homebound. We had a couple of those last year. And it just makes it more special for them. But, they would like to be out with the community to celebrate their service, but it's not always possible.
As a veteran yourself, how does it make you feel when you present these quilts?
It just makes, it makes me happy because we can recognize those individuals, especially the ones that feel like no one cares about them in the community. And it's just so, rewarding to award one to a veteran and thank him for their service. Okay. Because it's important. I know when I received my quilt, when I was awarded my quilt, it was, it was beyond words. I mean, it was just so nice to be wrapped in something nice and warm and just look at the, the beautiful workmanship that the ladies had done. And
I was going to ask you the question of had you been awarded your quilt? And so I'm sure I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, when I first contacted the state coordinator, who is Victoria Colburn Hall. She's in Vegas. She's our state coordinator for the state of Nevada. And she was looking for a representative for Pahrump. So I thought about it. I thought, well, I'm the perfect person to do it because I am a veteran, and our local community needed a separate group from the other local quilt groups to make quilts just for the veterans. So, you know, I volunteered. I worked with her for a year before I was comfortable starting the group out here, and it's just been a wonderful experience. I have 35 members, and we all, you know, work together as a team to put these quilts together.
I was going to ask, how long are your meetings?
Well, lately they've been like an hour to hour and a half.
Okay.
Right now, when we first started, we did actual sew-in, where we actually brought our machines and sewed. But many of our Quilts of Valor members are also members of the other quilt guilds, so they prefer to sew at that meeting, which is fine. So we are, you know, looking at other ways to get more people involved and, you know, help them create a nice quilt.
Okay. Like I mentioned during the earlier session with Susan Davila, and that's the reason I asked the question of how long your meetings are, because you meet the same day as community outreach, the second Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, I didn't know that.
Community outreach meets from 11:30 until 1.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I asked how long your meetings are,
Right.
because this way you can come to the community outreach meeting and let everybody know exactly what's going on to get the word out.
Okay. Yep.
And that's at the Methodist Church, by the way.
Okay.
So
great to know.
And you come in there with any information you'd like to hand out, and you can pass it around to all of them, and that way they get it out to their organizations as well. So pass the word. It's always good to do that.
That's right.
Now, I know we're running out of time on this session, but we're going to have more questions on the second session. But I just want to say, too, that they can use donations. So I'm going to, of course, I have to ask Denise, do you accept donations?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Donations is how we do what we do.
Okay.
Donations can be in the form of money, check, cash, fabric. If you have an overflow of fabric in your home and you don't know what to do with it, you can always bring it in, and then we can, you know, see what we can use. I mean, because we can't use fleece or flannel, or it has to be 100% cotton. Or if you just want to buy something at the quilt shop in town, you can do that too. But checks and cash donations are acceptable.
Okay. Well, in our next session, we're going to get back to the donations, because donations are so important, and donations to help them do what they do for veterans is so critical. So we're going to cover that more in our next session. And we want to remind you that Quilts for Valor is something that Denise has a passion for, and that's why we talk about it. So come back and join us in our next session. Thank you.